Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim Gugabe. How are you doing?
Up early. Always an interesting time slot with you, but yeah, good times. Nice to be back. How are we, Tim?
Yeah, sorry we've been on a little hiatus here, but vaccines are coming, and you and I are back, so the world is good again.
Yep, and there was some great oscillating charts from certain assets Tim had to get behind.
Yeah.
And he's moved on to other forms of gambling.
Yeah, I've been ranting about Bitcoin on Twitter a little bit. I'm done. I'm just saying. I think there's some upside. I think it's a good time to buy. So,
the young Gugabe got kicked off a trading desk 3 to 4 years ago during the last Bitcoin peak.
But I don't know. You just want to go straight into the card?
Yeah, works for me.
It's Hermansson Vettori, right? There hasn't been any changes in the last 3 hours, has there been? Because I haven't looked in the last few hours.
Having a look, I can't see anything, but
it's probably dude, all the change-ups are fucking insane.
Yeah, but I guess we've had some decent fights. Like, I actually kind of prefer this to Hermansson versus Till.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think this is a fun fight. I mean, we'll talk about it. I like both guys. So, but let's start at the bottom. Quinonez and Smolka. Have we talked about this before? I don't even know. But what are your thoughts here?
It was booked, but I don't think we've talked about. I think we didn't have to do a podcast that week. Okay. I originally leaned to Smolka just because I kind of reckon his grappling's a bit more functional, and Smolka's good when he's good. Like I did like his approach to Kenny, but after he got hospitalized and pulled out last time, I'm just like pass. If anything, I probably hit Quinonez just because I'm just like the guy was in the hospital 3 weeks ago. It's a big enough red flag to just totally pass in the fight at a very small lean on anyway.
Yeah, it's been a while since I researched this a long time ago, but I think some of the little things that I wrote down was I tend to lean Smolka a little bit, but no strong conviction or anything. But I just feel like Smolka has to sub him to kind of justify his favorite line, and it's kind of like how often does he get the sub? It's tough to know. I don't totally trust Quinonez's submission grappling, but I kind of trust his process a little more. So if it goes to the decision, I favor Quinonez, and like I don't really trust Quinonez as a finisher that much, and neither of these guys really land head strikes. So I don't know. If Smolka doesn't sub him, I think Quinonez's decision is kind of likely. So it could be a prop to go after, because it's over plus 200, I think.
Yeah, I could see that logic. Also, my thing with like Quinonez, I do like how his game is like reasonably put together. He's like an intelligent guy. He's just really unathletic and not from a good country to get good chest sparring in.
Yeah,
it's just like he's got some decent stuff to his game. It's just if you're a C- athlete at bantamweight and you're in a shit country to learn anything, it's like, well, how good can you be?
Yeah, for sure. And if I trusted him from a submission grappling perspective, I think he'd be a decent play here. It's just I don't totally. And he only defends takedowns at 50%, but he doesn't get controlled often. But his competition has been awful, Quinonez. Like the people he's beaten. So it's kind of like, it's kind of tough. But I kind of lean him, but no strong convictions or anything here.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't pushed a favourite just because I expect the hospitalisation would have been enough. Because he just kind of nudged almost to even money at the last moment last time. So
yeah,
I thought that'd be enough to push him across, but apparently
I think the line will close a little tighter than what it is now.
Agreed.
It did last time too. So, Leavitt and Wiman. I know you're gonna probably like Wiman here because you like big underdogs, but I think Leavitt's. I don't particularly rate Leavitt, and I think he'll eventually run into a wall and get destroyed. But I think his wrestling's strong enough, and he's just kind of like more youthful and a decent enough grappler to probably be fine here.
My view is kind of like, I haven't actually pulled the trigger on this, but I was kind of looking at it. I get kind of hope for last minute. It's looking at the exchange. I hope I get like 5-1 or something on Wiman. Usually because that's the sort of fighter that blows it out. My thing is I'm just untrustworthy of a grappler being such a massive favorite over even an older fighter. I just feel like grappling skills tend to decline less than like striking skills and durability and that sort of stuff.
Wouldn't you still favor Leavitt as a wrestler though?
Yeah, still minus 400 is a big number.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I don't know, another way, just if you like big plus money in general, Wyman's never been subbed in his career, and he did survive Selecki, and he's like I don't know what his belt is, but even though he's like old and everything, he still has like submission defense, right? And I could just see Leavitt by decision or plus one, it's almost plus 200, and his inside the distance is plus 100. I think that's too big of a gap in those two lines, you could argue, like, at least they should be closer, or you could maybe even argue that Leavitt by decision is more likely. But yeah, that's just like some thoughts that I had too.
Yeah, I'm seeing these takes that Leavitt is the equivalent grappler to Luis Pena and Joe Selecki, and I think that Selecki and Pena are sort of a level or two above him in grappling, just from what we've seen.
I'm not saying he's a better grappler than them, but I mean, they both covered minus 400 easily, and even if he's like Leavitt's a tier below, he still should probably be fine, But
did Pena get cut? I feel like he did, but I'm not sure.
I hope not. I like Pena. Like I think he's
a huge idiot though.
What's up?
He is a gigantic idiot. I agree. Pena's pretty good and pretty underrated, but he is a huge idiot.
Oh, he's an idiot, and he's definitely underachieved. But I do think he's like, I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he's got a few skills where if he rounded out his game, he could be decent.
And he's 27, so it's just like, he's got a chance to recover. I should make Luis Pena versus Roosevelt Roberts. Honestly, I think it'd be a good fight.
Well, it would be a good fight, but that would be hilarious because they're both kind of idiots, and they both could be okay. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like, it's Noodle leaves town. The loser is the leaves town. Is no longer UFC Noodle, and the other one is this king of the lightweight noodles.
A loser leaves town. They should. How funny would that be if the UFC actually used that as like a marketing tool, like on the prelims? Like you had two people, and they just, I don't know, they didn't fuck around, and they're just like, yeah, loser leaves town match. It would make it more exciting, I feel.
Tim wants to see them battle unemployment for their 10K.
Well, I mean, if someone's going to lose their job, make it exciting. I don't know. Because there are times where, like, Ostovich and, what's her name, Mizani, that was pretty much, we know, a loser leaves town match, right?
I think Ostovich could cling on.
Why not label it? I mean, I don't know.
It's I could see it.
Yeah, I'm evil, though. But, no, it'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think Leavitt should be fine, but who knows?
Yeah, I think Leavitt should win. I'm just kind of like, if it like Wyman hits like plus 400, plus 500 in exchange last minute, and sometimes those I'll probably take half unit swing.
Would you? So you'd rather have Wyman at like big plus money than Leavitt at decision at decent plus money? Like, which one would you rather have? I don't care. I'm not going to have action on this fight. But.
Leave Leavitt decision. I just don't like how his game's put together to win decisions. It's just one of those things where I feel like he's very aggressive sub-wise, and he does stupid shit when he's not going for subs. So it's just like,
yeah, it's just like he's aggressive sub-wise, but so is Selecki, and I don't know. I don't know if he throws enough ground and pound. If he threw more ground and pound, I'd be nervous. But I don't of a finish happening. But I don't know. I'm just throwing out there. But Benitez and Jaynes, I feel like Jaynes is KO 1 or bust.
Yeah, it's surprising where like Benitez opens the dog. Like, Benitez was available as a dog and even money for a surprisingly long amount of time. Like, I'm a pretty big Benitez fan. I just think he's a good sort of middle class featherweight / lower class lightweight. and Justin Jaynes is just kind of bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, yeah, Jaynes might clip him round one. Like, Benitez isn't bulletproof, but otherwise, just like Benitez has busier, better put together game, more or less everywhere. I'm a fan of Benitez. I think he's generally been value in his fights. Like, if you look at his historical odds, it's like generally been a big dog and kind of put together at least coin flips.
He's got good metrics too. Like, he's got legitimately awesome striking metrics, but he
But just looking at his historical odds, just like, yeah, he was plus 240 against Yusuf, which he covered in my opinion. He was plus 150 against Morales, probably about right. Minus 150 against Bandai, he covered that comfortably. Plus 280 against Knight, covered that comfortably.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Jaynes has 2 UFC fights, but I don't consider him UFC level personally. It's like the Camacho thing happened, and then he didn't look UFC level versus who was it? Tucker. I just, and like in the regionals, he doesn't, his record isn't even good on decisions. Like, it's like he's really KO1 reliant or finish reliant early. And I don't know. It's just like, I tend to think KO1s get over measured, I would say, you know. I just think they happen less, especially when you're an inferior striker. I think they happen less than usual than what people think. So
yeah. Also, my thing is like, the under was also pretty good here. Like, I got plus 110 on the under 2.5. It's pushed into like minus 125. Even that's honestly still not awful.
Yeah.
Like, Jaynes will do his best to get finished. Jaynes will do his best to dump his cast tank in round 1 and then do his best to get finished because he won't fuck off.
Yeah.
Benitez can't fucking crack. Benitez KO's been like plus 400, plus 500 in the marketplace for a bit. It's started to come down. Even that's kind of like, why is Benitez KO that wide?
Now that you advertise the under on the show, what's going to happen is Jaynes is going to get knocked down in round 1, almost get a finish, and then Benitez is going to beat the shit out of him for 13 straight minutes. The under is going to miss, even though it'll be a value.
Yeah, most likely. I don't question these things anymore.
You have some of the funniest unders. There'll be like, I don't know. I don't play props as much as you, but I just feel like anytime you do, there'll be like 17 knockdowns and I don't know, just ridiculous shit happening.
I'm worried that Jaynes pulls a what's his name? I'm worried Jaynes pulls a Carter's after getting finished last time and just kind of refuses to do anything.
Yeah, it could happen. Topuria and Jackson. What do you think here?
I think the market's running a bit too hard at Topuria. Like, I mean, Jackson doesn't necessarily beat Bektic every time, but like, I think Topuria is an inferior version of Bektic. I think people have forgotten how fucking good Bektic is because of his hilarious fragility.
Yeah.
And yeah, Topuria, he beat Zalal, but Zalal's kind of fringe UFC anyway. Like, Jackson's solid. I don't like Jackson's chin, and Topuria will throw heat, but against the grappling, I think Jackson will compete in the grappling at plus 200. Agreed. And Topuria's cardio kind of worries me a bit.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of things in the grappling. I'll just throw some stuff out there and you can I feel like a lot of people like this fight, but no, I do tend to agree that I guess the main thing is I just think Jackson will test Topuria in the grappling and wrestling and reversal scramble game more than Zalal did. Zalal will literally just kind of lay on his back and he doesn't work for position as much. And there's a reason Bektic tired out. It's because Jackson was constantly working up. So that's one thing. I do like Topuria, his takedowns more. And I think he's a better positional wrestler. Like, he'll actually work to his feet in the small things. I saw against Zalal, where sometimes Jackson will do dumb shit like hang out for Kimuras and not work up right away. Like, he will later, but sometimes he'll kind of hang out too long. So that's one thing. But I do think, I just feel like if Jackson's he's more dangerous in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu positions. Like, he'll put in a body triangle, like tight body triangles. And I just worry, it's like we've never seen Topuria tested there in some of those spots to where, I don't know, like I feel like if Topuria kind of answers some of these questions, he could look like he could cover his line. but I just feel like we don't know that for sure. And just like Jackson's dangerous enough as a submission artist to where he could maybe catch a guillotine or something too. And he's got good cardio too. Didn't Topuria though take that fight on ultra short notice? Like I have no idea if his cardio might look better here or worse. I have no idea, but wasn't that on a short notice though?
It was, but like I think he was training for a fight regardless, and it's just the way Topuria fights makes you think he's got cardio issues.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Jackson, or when you work up and are forced to mat return with people, you get more tired, and Zalal doesn't do that. And that was one thing I kind of pointed out, at least in my breakdowns before that fight, is Zalal, he'll just kind of like lay there. He's really green in wrestling, Zalal. And that fight kind of showed. I mean, there's a reason Griffin had some wrestling success against Zalal because he's not a very good wrestler. Where I feel like Jackson's a little more difficult. And like Bektic, like you said, is he's a monster wrestler. Like whenever he gets that part of his game going. So, and probably better than Topuria too.
Oh yeah, I would be surprised if Topuria is a better grappler / wrestling talent than Bektic for 7 minutes. Bektic for his 7 minutes is fucking elite.
Yeah.
Everything past that becomes an issue, but still.
Yeah, and he's way harder. Like, Bektic's takedown defense is like, it's something like over 90%. So there's Jackson getting some of those positions on him was just going to be a lot harder, where I'm just not so sure here. I don't know. Like if Topuria gets reversed, I feel like I don't know. I actually think that's possible for Jackson to get some of those positions, where against Bektic, it's kind of more like he's just going to get the finished Jackson. I don't think he'll get an actual great positions. I feel like that's why that fight looked the way it did. So,
and also Topuria does love his guillotines, which I'm always happy to go against.
Yeah,
the RTD's kind of drifted down a bit too. I was looking down to 2.5 at like -110 earlier in the week and ended up playing it, but I could see that's kind of. I'm just like, I feel Jackson is hard enough to sub. I don't want to play the under, but I might play like Jackson round 2, round 3 or something.
I could see that from just from the gassing dynamic, but I'm excited for this fight. Like I like Topuria. I just feel like Jackson's no picnic on the mat, and that's probably where the fight's going to take place.
He's gritty, he's busy, he's opportunistic, and Topuria is young enough, and his style is just cardio dynamic enough. I could see him gassing and getting into trouble here, but again, I think this is a very good test for him. I think it's a very good matchup.
Yeah, it's a good fight. God, this card compared to last week's card was so bad. Oh my god. But next fight, Flick and Durden. I think the line's fine personally, just because I think Flick's grappling upside is way higher. And like Durden was subbed on the regionals. I didn't see the fight. I don't know if it was available, but the few submission attempts I've seen on him, I don't like what I see from him from a defensive submission standpoint. And I could just see this being an easy tap. So that's one thing. And I just think Flick is decent enough positionally to where even if he doesn't get a submission, he can still win. And then I do think Flick is a wrestler. I don't totally love his wrestling. He can occasionally put together a decent shot, but I feel like he's not perfect and he could get stuck on the feet. But so like Durden could maybe sprawl and brawl to a win. It wouldn't shock me at all. But I still feel like the striking isn't a mismatch or anything to where Flick could compete on the feet. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I think the submission upside alone justifies the line, in my opinion.
Yeah. People keep telling me Durden. I've seen a bunch of chatter on Durden and my kind of comms and all that. Honestly, nothing about him really gives me that much personally. The other one off at dollar at like -30 at 130 is not bad in my opinion. But again, like because of the nature of sub stuff, it's gonna be one of those things either Durden can stuff submissions consistently, or he just gets tapped in like the first exchange to why Jimmy Flick plays it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, just the dynamic of how submission grappling tends to work.
Yeah.
Durden, yeah, again, I'm still fucking confused how Durden got 10-8 for that round 1 versus Gutierrez.
Yeah, I watched the fight a few days ago. I forgot how dominant it was, but yeah. Honestly, I thought Gutierrez justified his line after, like, even though it was a draw and he was a big favorite, I feel like the line was probably right after kind of seeing the fight play out, because he really just had that one back take, and that's it.
Yeah, great. Like I put a little bit on Durden and I ended up getting dead hit, so I profited. But like, yeah, honestly, Gutierrez beat the shit out of him after the first round, and
it was just a back take. It was like one moment, you know.
That really should not have been a 10-8 for the back take. Like, it wasn't like he threatened their deep subs or did much of his ground and pound or anything. Like, that 10-8 just confuses and concerns me a bit for the sport.
I mean, I don't know. You're always going to have like outlier weird things happening with judges. I feel like generally we kind of know what to expect, and you kind of know when there will be volatility in some of the fights, you know. I feel like anytime there's going to be a split decision, I generally can kind of expect it, except every now and then you'll have a Paul Felder scorecard against RDA where I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Also, my thing's like I would have given Gutierrez 10-8 for round 3 more than I would have given 10-8 for round 1.
Yeah.
Like, Gutierrez was just bashing him around, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I have no strong opinions here, but yeah, I think Flick should cover. I'm not huge on Durden, but I've seen some people I respect who are on, so good luck to them, I guess. I'm passing.
Yeah. Evloev and Landwehr. Evloev, rightful favorite. I think we can agree. Line might be getting a little too wide just because Landwehr did defend, I think, 12 of 13 takedowns against Elkins. I mean, he could give himself a reasonable chance of keeping it on the feet, where I don't think he would be a plus 465 underdog on the feet. But I still think Evloev's still probably a better striker, you know? But yeah, that's, I don't even think there's much to say other than that. What about you?
Yeah, broadly agree. Like, I think the line's a bit wide because it's a cage fight, but like, I can't really see where Landwehr coherently takes this to give Evloev massive trouble. And it's not like Landwehr's a massive one-hitter quitter either.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, Landwehr's maybe like, how does he win the fight? Like maybe either sort of a random KO or something, or like he somehow like gasses out Evloev, and Evloev seems fucking good. Yeah,
I like Evloev. I think he's really good.
I'd normally be in here trying to fade this kind of sport, but I just don't really see how Landwehr does it. Like,
I think it would have to be a random MMA moment like KO, or it would have to be he stops all the takedowns, which is possible, but still, when Evloev will attempt double-digit takedowns on occasion, you know? So, like, I know he did it versus Elkins, but even Elkins still won a round on the grappling. And then not only does he have to win the grappling, he then has to win the striking. So it's just kind of like he has like various stepping stones to, you know, to go across to get there, I feel, and it'll just be tough. And even if he does sprawl and brawl to a decision, it would probably be a split decision, right?
Pretty much. And like, even, yeah, striking wise, I still favor Evloev in the kickboxing match. I actually played a little bit of Evloev RTD in the under. I just feel like Landwehr will do his best to get finished.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, he's seriously aggressive, and when he's when he's grappling, he tends to be quite get up oriented. He doesn't tend to just sit underneath and sort of do nothing.
Props that jump out at me that I'm not necessarily playing is kind of like your ITD. I like Evloev KO at plus 405 just because I could just see I could see them trying to swing, but I feel like Evloev will be smarter and kind of like pick his shots, you know. And Landwehr's super hittable.
The issue with Evloev is obviously, will he bother to finish? I think I had some Evloev like round 3 against Grundy, and it was just like Evloev just fucking finish.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest bets of the year, Evloev on there, and he. If that fucking, what was that? Was that a Anaconda or a Darce? I can't remember.
I mean, Grundy was a hindsight minus 1,000 because 100% of the time he gets that submission, and 90% of the time Evloev gets tapped, and Evloev traded.
Dude, because Grundy's been my nemesis for a while, that would have been hilarious though. I still like looking back on it because I would have been pulling my hair out, and then Grundy would have been minus 250 against Shane Burgos or something. Oh man.
Man, it was an elite Commonwealth Wrestling guillotine, or whatever it was. Anaconda, DAS, whatever. Credit to Grundy for almost getting him, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Well, he still went... I mean, he kind of went nuts and shot 30 takedowns in the first round and completely left himself defenseless, but it was a good attempt. I mean, he obviously set it up.
And I just feel like, if you're Grundy in that position, you kind of have to do that kind of thing. Like, Evloev's is fucking good, so just try and make memes happen.
Yeah. After he lost that, you could tell he was like, oh, fuck.
We've all been there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Evloev should be fine. To the main event of the evening, Villante and... How do you say his name? Is it Collier?
Not sure.
Right. Collier.
Yeah, going from elite prospects to other elite prospects.
I mean, these are well-established champions here. These aren't prospects. But do you have anything to say about this? I have nothing to say.
I have a rant about how Gian Villante should have gone to heavyweight earlier, particularly if he was in reasonable shape. But that's just one of my opinions I have, where I just feel like Gian Villante is better than he gets credit for. And heavyweight's been a shit show long enough. I think Villante would have had a better career if he went up. But otherwise, Jack Collier, morbidly obese, not a good look. If he rocks up like he did against Aspinall, Villante might cover the hand. He might cover the money line price just because. If Collier's can rock up like looking like a civilian who did not train against Villante, who was actually pretty decent in my opinion, like he's underrated. He should get destroyed, but otherwise it's just kind of like, well, it's Gian Villante versus Jake Collier in 2020 at heavyweight. Is it at heavyweight? Pretty sure it is.
I haven't even looked into the fight. I don't know.
It is heavyweight.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't care about this fight. I mean, I'm gonna tape it and everything, but I just it's hard to be motivated about it. Roman Dolidze and John Allan. This is the other fight I have not taped on this card. What's going on here? I remember Allan. Did he beat someone who's like decent? Did he beat Mike Rodriguez or?
Yeah, Mike Rodriguez, he out-grappled him, but again, like Mike Rodriguez is out-grappleable. But he seems like pretty process-driven, busy, Brazilian sort of grappler sort of thing. Dolidze, his spin kicks and heel hooks. I think there's probably worth a shot in Allan at dog odds, just because I feel like his game is a lot more process-driven, and Dolidze is kind of can-crushed over in Georgia, and now is and then beat Carters, who just looked scared.
Yeah.
Allan should challenge. Yeah, Allan should challenge him. I know some people playing the over, but I feel like Allan and the over are pretty correlated. All these things where like Dolidze's win's probably just going to be a first round spin kick knockout kind of a thing.
I remember this guy. I'll look into it, but yeah, I remember he fought the GOAT Ibrahimov.
Yeah, but like plus 160 this kind of spot I think is reasonable on Allan, just because I'm like Dolidze hasn't really dealt with adversity that well. He's had some kind of soft fixed fights in Georgia. Like there's one where he got knocked down and the referee gave him like 2 minutes to recover. Apparently he's like his money, his family apparently has like massive money in Georgia by all accounts. So like it's kind of odd these things where it's like rich kid playing at this versus Allan, who was a pretty tough out generally, but again like Dolidze could just land a big spin kick. I think it's probably worth touching Allan plus 160. I think it's worth taping. But like yeah, it's always things I'm kind of either cheering for Allan to get the upset, or if Dolidze's get a win, do it by a round 1 spin kick so I can get a decent price next time.
Yeah, I'm probably just hoping for a round 1 KO for someone. But yeah, I don't have anything to say about this one either. Let's go to Santos and De La Rosa. At first glance, I kind of after taping, I kind of think the line's too wide, but De La Rosa has to follow a game plan to win, where Santos kind of doesn't. So that's kind of why I do lean Santos in this spot, because De La Rosa just needs to shoot takedowns, and I just struggle playing Santos at this line, considering Barella took her to a split decision 2 fights ago, and all she did was land 2 takedowns. And I feel like if you had to project, how many takedowns do you think De La Rosa lands in this matchup? It's like 1 to 3, probably. Like, obviously, if she lands 0, she's fucked. But I would probably say 1 to 3. What about you?
Yeah, about right. Santos doesn't get up well, so I don't think the mat returns are too big a factor.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If she lands like 1 or 2 takedowns, I think this will be close, just because Santos gave up a round and played guard in round 1 against Barella, and that concerned me, But if De La Rosa also, Santos has decent first layer takedown defense, and De La Rosa, she didn't wrestle urgently enough against Araujo and just kind of accept in the first 2 rounds. She only attempted 3 takedowns, and they were kind of half-assed after getting beat up. And it's like, well, yeah, if she fights like that, she's going to get destroyed, But if she fights even like she did against Andrea Lee, I know like she got whooped in that fight, but she really chased the takedowns. And if she fights like that, then she could win. I really just feel like she has to follow a game plan. But because she has to follow a game plan and Santos probably doesn't, I probably will pick Santos to win. But I don't know. Do you see my thought process here?
Yeah, broadly.
Yeah.
I did like how Rosa's decision was wider than Rosa RTD for a while, which I just did not understand. Like,
yeah, that was really dumb.
Like, why?
I think you pointed that. I think you messaged me that or something, and I just laughed. I was like, "What?"
I guess the Rosa has got some UFC finishes, but the issue with her UFC finishes are that they're against absolute pond scum.
Yeah, it was against that girl who's like as bad as Ostovich.
It's literally against Kasem, Ostovich, and Christina Marks. Those are her UFC.
Was it against Ostovich? It was also against Ostovich.
Yep,
I remember. Yeah, because I remember that. Kasem, yeah, that's the one I was talking. I didn't even. Yeah, she did. Oh, I played her versus Ostovich. I remember that. I played De La Rosa against Ostovich.
Yeah, so De La Rosa decision at +3. I think I got like +350 or something last night. It's probably the spot I'm on. I just think it gives you a bit more wide, gives you a bit wider for line. Even GTD at -200 is not bad. Like Rosa is tough as fuck.
That's the thing. I think Go's decision at -205 is better than like if you like Santos, I think Go's decision at -205 is better than Santos -210. Because at least you still get the Santos decision, which could easily happen. And do you really want her inside the distance over De La Rosa decision? I wouldn't at all, especially after seeing that Barella fight.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And again, it can just be scrappy. It is women's at a low level. De La Rosa is tough and will pull up volume, and she's probably get direct on the fade, but again, she won't fuck off completely in volume, so you never know what kind of stupid split decision you can get.
Yeah. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. I do think that decision line I respect De La Rosa's durability. I think Araujo is probably more of a finishing threat than Santos. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think this is quite a similar dynamic, but
similar.
Rose probably approached us like an idiot though. Well, approached Araujo like an idiot.
Yeah, she did. I mean, if she approaches that, like she just did not shoot enough takedowns in that fight, especially in the first 2 rounds. Like she started going for them after she was already plus 700 on the live line.
And her leg was fucked, wasn't it, from memory?
Yeah. But I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts. But Hill and OSP, I like Hill. I think he's got good volume and everything. And I almost played him in his first 2 fights in the UFC, and of course I didn't. And then he won both of them. But I just worry about him on the mat here if it goes there. I don't really know what to expect. I just feel like he might be a little too green on the mat for me to be comfortable for him to cover his line. But like, if he checks that box, I do like him better as a striker here. But I guess I understand the line, but it's something I don't really feel like going after. I could just see this being another thing, like OSP gets top position and gets a tap out type of thing. But I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, like Hill's regional type was kind of fucking shit in terms of defensively. He seems to have turned the corner since he got to the UFC.
Yeah.
There's enough regional type of him looking like an absolute fucking idiot that I'm kind of hesitant.
Yeah.
He seems to have turned the corner. It's just like one of these things. I could just go back to the regional type and be like, he
It's
almost
like,
got
how green is he?
Townsend.
Yeah.
Like the Quan Townsend did, that was a fucking hard knockdown.
Total subject change. But since you mentioned Townsend, just some trivia. You know, Jaynes, like the Justin Jaynes on this card, has 2 wins over Townsend. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was just, well, aren't they like? I feel like he's a 145er. Isn't Townsend like a borderline like light heavyweight? Like, isn't he huge?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was fucking hilarious. I was like looking at Topology. It was an amateur fight or a couple amateur fights.
6'3" versus 5'7".
What's up?
Townsend 6'3" and Jaynes is 5'7".
Yeah. I was like, yeah. And I think Jaynes has 2 wins. Does he not in the amateurs? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to point that out. I was looking at that. I was like, wait, is that the same Daquan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Daquan Townsend's regional record goes all sorts of places. I like it.
I don't know. That just like that blew my mind. I was like, wait, what the fuck? That fight would have. You got this like little white guy who just beat this huge black dude who like looks like an NBA player or something. I was like, what the fuck? But I don't know. Anyway,
just going through Daquan Townsend's regional record, looks like he fought at welterweight originally somehow.
Really, he's a huge guy. I feel like
he knocked out Anthony Smith at in 2013. Oh, no, different Anthony Smith. Sorry.
I was baffled because if Townsend just got matched up in a heavyweight fight, I would have been like, oh yeah, he's probably big enough to be heavyweight. He's losing fucking Justin Jaynes, who I feel like if Justin Jaynes got put in the bantamweight fight, I'd be like, oh yeah, he could fight bantamweight. I was baffled by that when I was researching. But anyway,
his amateur fights are mostly on welterweight, so must have gained some weight.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fucking funny. But is that the way you feel? Like, I respect Hill. It's just how polished is he? I think it's just kind of a question mark. And I just worry about him on the mat.
I think there's big defensive question marks there. But broadly in terms of offensive ability, he seems like fine offensively. Like he's impressed me a lot as light heavyweight so far.
Yeah,
I took Stozic against him kind of as a defensive chin check kind of thing. Which I probably see Stozic the same way people see OSP in terms of like Stozic should have been able to sub him, and like he got up from Stozic okay, and
he lands a shit
more defensively responsible.
He lands 7.9 strikes per minute and absorbs 2.81. Like, I know it's only been like 6 rounds or so, but
4 rounds, isn't it? What's his name? Was the first round? It was like his first minute knockout, wasn't it?
I was kind of combining his.
Tensei.
Yeah, it's like around that 5, 6, something like that. Yeah. But I mean, his composition's been not great. It's been okay for kind of where he's at, but yeah. I just don't. I don't fully like OSP is good at doing his little thing, but I just kind of worry about Hill on the mat, but he still has a chance to dominate here.
Yeah, and OSP's got his own massive issues all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
Just one thing I just concerned about Hill's lack of defense, but yeah, Hill should win the minutes. So
I'm gonna agree. I taped this fight a while ago, but I want to rewatch the grappling exchange between him and Stozic, and maybe I'll have more of like a solidified opinion. But I tend to think he should be the favorite, and I expect Hill to win. But I just do worry a little bit on the mat. But
I I don't mind the under, honestly. Like, I usually won't play an under at this, but just like Hill does so much, he kind of is conducive to the unders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he'll be in range, he'll be throwing a bunch. OSP could land a single and nuke, or could just
It's
like
under
rattle.
1.5 though, right?
Yeah. Even the
Yeah.
RTD at minus 180 is not awful. It's a small cage, they're big, Hills are very busy. I don't know. It'll be the random return of OSP's chin, which fluctuates in and out of existence.
Yeah. Yeah. But Hermansson and Vettori, what do you think here?
I do love Hermansson, but Vettori should just be kind of busier and a bit more well to put together functionally. I got the over 2.5 pretty early, and that's moved quite favourably. Even the GTD's crunched a bit. I think they're both very fit. I think I was a huge standing KO for it. Yeah, I just think Vettori should just kind of outwork him, but I do hope Hermansson wins. I like Hermansson more.
I like both these guys. But
Hermansson's older and it's like his last run kind of a thing. Whilst I feel like Vettori, if Vettori gets another setback, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. I lean Vettori. It's just like Hermansson's main way of winning fights is kind of takedowns and subs type of thing. That's when he really that's one of his main ways to going, and I just feel like Vettori's takedown defense is really good, and his get-ups are good, and even so, and I just like don't totally love Hermansson's actual wrestling. I like Hermansson's top game and whatnot. He's a good grappler, but this is a tough dude to get down, And so but even if he does get it down, Vettori got taken down. The last time he got taken down was ACJ, and ACJ got 4 takedowns and only 1 advance of position on Vettori. So it's like, even if Hermansson gets Vettori down, I don't know if he'll be able to do his thing, Like, Vittori's a good grappler. And I just feel like Vettori will probably have him covered there. And so I feel like Hermansson has to win on the feet to really justify the near even money line. I feel like he'll really have to compete. And I feel like he could keep some moments competitive, but Vittori's head strike metrics are really, really good. And I just feel like he hits harder, from like a strike per strike basis. So I feel like, and just from a technical point of view, anytime someone like swarms Hermansson, like going forward with just kind of like quick hands, he doesn't react well. Like Santos did it, Cannonier has done it, and even when Jacare did it, Jacare was just kind of dumb and just did Jacare things, low volume in that fight. But when he actually threw, Jacare landed, and I just feel like Vettori will be throwing, like he's super busy.
Yeah, my thing of that is I feel like, Vittori's not the hitter that any of those 3 guys are. And also against Cannonier, I felt like Cannonier, Hermansson's legs seem to go against Cannonier quite early.
True, yeah.
And it's like, Thiago Santos and Jacare do hit very fucking hard to Cannonier.
Yeah. I do think Vettori is a little heavier hitter than maybe his
punches.
Vittori's fought a little guys though. Like ultra durable guys. Sanchez is a little more durable than people realize.
I'm sorry.
What's up?
I understand that. Sanchez is the guy.
Fucking boy.
He's fine.
He's come through for me too many times. Like, I'm always gonna like that guy. And I just feel like Akhmedov super durable. Adesanya's Adesanya, and even Sanchez. He was bothering Sanchez.
Yeah, I think. I just Man's I think I thought he was older than that.
Jacare was amazing. So it's not like he's completely fucked standing here. I just do trust Vettori from like a head strike point of view, and Vettori defense strikes at 67%, where Hermansson's like 56. So I just feel like it's easier to land that free volume on someone like Jacare who doesn't do anything, or like Vettori will be walking you down at times and kind of bullying you at times. So I think it will be a little harder for him. And I think Vettori can, keep up with the volume. And if he keeps up with the volume, he hits harder. So like we agree, Vettori hits harder than Hermansson, right?
Yeah, I put him about the same level, but yeah, I think he's a bit more upside in that area.
Yeah. But
if this goes 25 minutes, how many strikes do you think they throw?
How many, like each or collectively?
Just like total strikes attempted.
Attempted strikes, I would probably put them both over 300, right?
Yeah, I could say 600-700. I could just see this being absolute crazy, like Covington, Guzman level, just ridiculous volume fights.
Yeah. No, totally. It has the potential to be an awesome fight, and I trust Vettori. I trust one thing about them standing. I trust Vettori's durability much more than Hermansson. Don't you?
Yeah, agreed. Just based on the last few weeks, so we do know how this is going to end. Hermansson's going to jump a somewhat dubious guillotine a minute and hit his guillotine because he has magical guillotine powers, and it will be Hermansson's free money. Vettori too big a step up in competition narratives.
I would be very. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would be very impressed if Hermansson sub Vettori. I think it's going to be very hard to do. But, I mean,
you did get Branch is pretty difficult to sub.
Yeah, I think Vettori's a better. Like people might disagree. I think Vettori's a better submission grappler than Branch, at least from an MMA perspective.
And also, Hermansson's got those things where it's not necessarily he's got the deepest sub game, but it's like the things he's good at. The thing he thinks he's good at, he's very good at going for, and like he's got the build for it, and it's like all these things you have to adjust to.
Yeah.
So it's just like, he might not necessarily be the best if you put him, if you give him like 8 minutes of Vettori and then grappling, you probably get that many subs. But in terms of just like randomly jumping some crazy guillotine, I think he's live. Just stylistically.
Yeah. How impressive is it that Vettori was 23 when he fought ACJ, and like he got taken down 4 times and only gave up 1 advance of position. Like that's so impressive. And I mean, and that's over, that's 4 years ago now, and he's in his athletic prime. Like that's so impressive to do at that young of an age, I feel. And your second UFC fight.
Is ACJ still alive? Honestly.
Well, he lost his he lost that.
Your eye hole.
He's fighting Brad Tavares in January.
What? Oh. That's a fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. But
yeah, I don't know either. I'm like, yeah.
I like them both as like middleweight. They're both fine middleweight bodies.
That's a good fight. I'm excited for that fight.
Yeah, I like Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares was historically a decent counter grappler. Like he kept he out grappled a few guys. Like and I'm just generally a big fan of Brad Tavares. So like, that's a decent fight.
Yeah, but I think we covered everything though. We have 2 more cards remaining for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we lost what you call it? Edwards versus Chimaev.
Yeah.
As a society, we're poorer.
Yeah, I like. Is Magny gonna come in and fight Chimaev?
I hope he does. Magny submission round 3. As I've said the entire time.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just hilarious. Like it's just impossible to know how good Chimaev is. It's like he could be Khabib 2.0, or he could be not very good.
He could be Brandon Patch.
I tend to think he's good. Like I doubt he's a 2 out of 10, but he could be just kind of average type of thing.
Yeah, he could be massively gassy. He could have chin issues. Could also have all sorts of issues.
He'd have a lot of issues.
That's why I'm going to get Neil Magny in there. So Neil Magny can finish Chimaev, and Neil Magny can get his title shot.
If Kamaev goes in there and just knocks Magny out, it'd be fucking hilarious in the first 10 seconds.
Magny versus Usman for the title. It's what the UFC needs.
Oh God, I want Usman. I'm cheering for Kamaev to get a first round knockout because he would get a title shot against Usman, and I don't even care. I don't like playing blind fights, but I will play Usman over almost anyone. I'm the biggest Usman fan there is. So, and I think you like Usman a lot as far as betting on him, right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's not particularly compelling to watch, or I don't think I enjoy watching.
Yeah, I'm just talking about from a betting point of view. He's a fucking man.
Yeah, he's just ridiculously physically. It's just this question of Usman being like, what if a pretty good wrestler was the biggest, strongest, fastest person in the division and had the best cardio by a massive margin?
I fucking love it, dude. It's amazing.
That's why it's so uncompelling to me. It's just yes, you have all these God-given gifts. You are an incredible athlete, but you just don't do much with them.
Yeah.
Be more interesting, please.
He's my ultra. My boys, I feel like, are Sanchez is up there. Usman's definitely up there. Kenny's definitely in on my team too. But Usman's just a fucking man. He's always comes through, I feel.
Well, it's my thing of Usman's just I saw people I said a few times, Usman's the only person to take at minus 200 against Chimaev at this point, because Usman, at least his cardio was fucking ridiculous. So
who you would take Usman minus 200 over who? You meant Edwards?
Usman's the only person I price at minus 200 against Edwards.
Yeah.
Just because Usman's cardio and durability is such massive fallbacks.
Yeah. And he honestly covered it in the first fight, especially if you scaled it to a 5-rounder,
Yeah. It's the way Usman works, just because Usman's cardio is so good, it's just even if he has trouble round 1 or round 2 because he's not very good at mixed martial arts, it's just
it's like his 10-8s are almost a guarantee later.
Yeah, pretty much. Does this guy be for 2 rounds it wasn't beating the fuck out of you?
Yeah, it's hilarious because in the fight with Masvidal, I think for the first round was close, even though I think everyone gave it to Usman, but I actually personally was maybe scored it for Masvidal, but I thought it was close. And I was on Usman in that fight, even at his line, but he still covered his line easily in that fight. He dominated Jorge.
Yeah, you need to finish him. That's much. I'd forgotten that fight happened. That's how.
Yeah.
That fight was so fucking boring.
Yeah, it was perfect for me because I had money on him. But mean, the only other person I would maybe think of over Leon is Colby, but he still may not cover it, But I'm high on Colby. I think Colby's very good.
Yeah, I could say that, but again, Usman's the one I definitely feel confident.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so hopefully Magny comes in against Chimaev and there's a plus 10,000 dogs. The market would push Magny somewhere stupid price wise.
Yeah, that would be. Magny's tough to deal with too. Especially Magny 2.0. He kind of knows. I feel like he figured out how to win. He's an MMA better. He realized if I just constantly clinch, constantly throw kicks, and don't get tired, I'm gonna win unless if you knock me out.
Pretty much. I would. Magny Usman just would amuse me for some reason. I just for some reason that's one of the more interesting Usman fights in my mind. Because it would be great seeing Magny go for a title fight. I just think that would be a great moment. Magny is one of my all-time boys.
Yeah, that would be a fun fight just because at least Magny, it's not like Usman would finally have that huge cardio. It's the cardio would maybe be offset at least to a degree, but yeah, Usman's still Usman.
True, I could just see that being another 400 strikes each kind of a fight, and it's I can think that'd be reasonably compelling. If anybody's going to make an Usman fight compelling, it's more to be that than it will be other angles. Even Magny Covington would be fun, honestly.
Magny Covington, yeah. I just forget what's Magny like as a wrestler. I'm just forgetting. I would have to tape, and then he defends at 59% takedowns. I just don't remember because I feel like I haven't with the Lawler fight. I didn't have to worry about it. I just forget what his wrestling looks like. So yeah,
like most of Magny's game, he's busy, but he has no shit defense. But just like Covington's not really that much of a hold down kind of a dude.
Yeah.
In the right context. But also, I'm just also my fingers with that would be what am I thinking of? Yeah, the Magan Wagon is coming for the title. We all believe in Tim Marriott. We all believe in Magny.
It is funny that one guy who absolutely destroyed Magny, Ponzinibbio, is he alive? He hasn't fought for 30 years.
That was a no contest. I think they actually made that a no contest since Ponzinibbio has disappeared.
And dude, when was that fight? That fight was so long ago, I feel. It was way before.
2 years, I think. About 2 years.
Oh, he's fighting Salikov in January. Yeah, it's been over 2 years now.
Salikov?
Yeah, he's fighting. Yeah, that's news. I didn't know that.
I thought Salikov was fighting somebody else. I remember Salikov, I don't know. That'll be a decent fight. Again, like, Ponzinibbio can wrestle a bit when he feels like it.
I forget what Ponzinibbio does because he hasn't fought for 600 years.
Pretty big. He's pretty busy. He's good. Good jab. Good leg kicks. Yeah, Ponzinibbio's go. Ponzinibbio's a solid fighter.
Yeah,
He's huge for the division, though. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Ponzinibbio has got middleweight soonish. Yeah. Just because, like, he hasn't fought in that amount of time, and like he was always gigantic for welterweight. He's 34 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta roll though. Sorry. Yep. Cool. I'll upload this and we'll get it out. We'll do another one next week. We'll finish out the year hopefully with all the podcasts done. So.
Yep.
So I stopped getting yelled at Twitter, but I'll have a good one, dude.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Catch up.
See ya.